love yourself first that you can really attract that real life love. Be honest with yourself first. You can't lie to yourself. You can lie to yourself all you want, bless you. But you can't lie to the Most High. So you wondering why you keep getting people, bless you. You wondering why you keep getting people who shady and all the McGrady's is because you're not 100% in your light and in your truth.
And that's why I'd be hard for me to associate with certain people. Be like, hell no, I'm not going over there where y'all at. Y'all niggas retarded.
Yeah, some of us are called to be hermits and to pop out once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But don't lose that.
I come out on a regular basis if I was going somewhere.
Yeah.
And if I ain't going nowhere, what the fuck I don't want to just be out there hanging around rogue people.
Right.
For no reason.
Right.
That's the thing. People like to go somewhere without a reason.
Right, just to be outside or something.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Mm-mm. Why was he over there? How he get shot? Why was he over? I don't know what the fuck that motherfucker was doing. I told him to take his ass over there.
Right.
He wanted to go see. Right. I gotta go see. Let me go see. I don't need to see. Curiosity killed the cat. I ain't that curious. I already can sense what's over there. I don't need to go.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. That's a fact.
Have them look. You know the word God, right?
No,
Listen. I'm pointing something out to you. In the 12 children of Israel, one of them name was Gad, G-A-D. Now here go the kicker. In English, the same word is God. Now, Gad mean a troop. A troop.
Like a group?
Yeah. But if you say a troop, that's a military contingent.
Right.
Right? Now, this is one of the children of Israel. So all of this time, we've been talking about the Creator. We've been talking about one of the children of Israel. And God we trust. Right? So as long as we trust in God, his brother Levi can issue a system of levies and liens in order for the Judas to judge us. It's all contract. It's all in Leviticus.
Okay.
Genesis and Leviticus. They tricked the shit out of us with that shit. Oh, they tricked us so bad. And look, crazy. I laugh now to keep from crying because they tricked this shit out of us. We were so fucking tricked.
They had to have done some type of spell work. I feel like when they took down the towers back then, that shit, they must have did something.
Look, this is what made me start trying to put the pieces together. Because they didn't want us to study voodoo. Because then we learn how to break curses. And we learn how to and then we learn how to answer the questions that the universe has. And then we get to, when we can answer the universe questions, it tells us who we are. Right? So why they don't want us to learn voodoo? So I started studying voodoo and I was like, oh shit, now I see why. Blood magic. Right. So I started studying blood magic. And I realized that the Constitution was written in the blood of Crispus Attucks. How do I know this? He was the first sacrifice of the Conjure War. They wrote the Constitution in his blood because you can't spill the blood of the righteous in vain, and that's how they instituted the George Washington 200-year Conjure. They put us all to sleep. Right? When they put us all to sleep that level the playing field, the only way out is to study our way out. That's why they kept telling us that we didn't like to read. No, motherfucker, it ain't that we didn't like to read. Yeah, y'all wouldn't let us read.
Yeah. You know, there's this anime called Hunter versus Hunter, and one of the things that the hunter does when they hunt the demon is they have like stickers with sigils on them. So they would use it to neutralize the demon spirit in some ways, and then when they would kill them, they would use these certain sigils to release the spirit from like the bondage of it being, being damned to hell. It would like some of them would get a chance to redeem themselves, and then some of them would die in a sense to be born into like a new energy. So, like it's interesting that you say how they demonize so many things that actually were a part of our everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
But a part of that too, as we're coming back into the knowledge of ourselves. Hold on, Juju, let me give you the key. As we come into the knowledge of ourselves, the other thing that we're being reminded is like, how much integrity do we have? Like, when you battling your enemy, I would say possibly, what am I trying to say? Basically, be accountable for your actions and don't be trying to throw magic when you wrong as shit.
That's the morals versus dogma equation, right? Because if you don't follow the moral compass, you will fall into the dogmatic pursuit. The moral compass exposes the dogma that allows you to walk the straight path. Right? By recognizing the dogma, now you become spiritually impenetrable by bullshit.
Say that one more time.
So it's a morals versus dogma.
No,
that's
just
an Albert. Right. So when you follow your moral compass, right, it keeps the dogma exposed. Yeah. You can tell the difference by following your moral compass because it don't feel right. Dogma don't feel right. Right? So by you following your moral compass, it's telling you if something don't feel right, don't go that way. Don't follow that. Right? Like, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. That's the dumbest shit in the world to me. Why he just didn't kill the motherfucker causing all of the problems? Well, he had to kill his son. If he really the all-powerful, like y'all say, he can get rid of the dark. He don't have to kill the light in order for the dark to flourish and kill it later. He can kill it Johnny on the spot. Somebody lying. We getting tricked somewhere.
See, and so with the story, with the story of Jesus, though, for me, again, you are the master of knowledge, so I'm coming to you as a baby in this with my thoughts. But the story of Jesus to me is about a real man. It's about a real Pharaoh who saw the darkness in the ways of his own Kemetic people, the Kemetic royals. He was seeing how they were corrupted. And so they make it seem like it was only Jesus by himself, but he had a whole army. It was him and his whole family, his wife, his children, all of these things that were doing all of these things everywhere that they were. And the family was the sacred house. And so in my thoughts, it's like they tell you the truth with coupled lies to confuse you, to take you away from the fact that Christ consciousness is real, that there were real apostles in the sense of how they say they were spreading the gospel, but these were people deemed to have powers solely because they honor the divinity within them and throughout the world. But correct me and guide me.
Okay, so first we got to go back to who wrote the New Testament. What language was it written in?
It was English, right? I don't know.
The New Testament was written in Greek.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's telling the story about a character that's in Greek. It's written Iesous. Right. This character is the one that they say is the king. Now, here's the problem with that. The contemporary of the day was a writer by the name of Origen. And a lot of his works was used by the early Catholic Church to write the parameters of the doctrine. In the Nicene Council in 325, they finally came up with a codified doctrine. Now, the contemporary ISIS, because that's the Greek word, Iesous is ISIS. So the contemporary ISIS with the error, is Cleopatra. Right? So they trying to kill Cleopatra. They say she got bit by a serpent in her chamber, but they don't have her body. Now, what makes that stand out to me is they have this Christ figure who's called Isis in Greek, and it's translated as Jesus in English. And the contemporary Isis of the day being Cleopatra, they don't have the body of the Jesus of the Bible, and they don't have the body of the of the Cleopatra. You see, so deductive reasoning, they took Cleopatra and turned her into a man. That's what you call an Anunnaki war tactic, a beheading of a god. So we need a reference. Where did they do it before that? Before Jesus' story, where did they switch the female god out for a male god? When you go to the pantheon of Greek gods, you run into a goddess by the name of Helen, who Hellenism is named after in the culture of Greece. But when you look at the Rome pantheon, the Helen is a man, and he's the Roman god, right? So where's the story of the ranked Helen? It's the story of Medusa, the dreadlock Gorgon priestess. She was what you call a Psi priestess. How do I know this? It's in her name. She was the number one, or we count like 10 to 1 over here. They count from 1 to 10 in Kemet. The highest rank is rank number 10. In Kemet, rank number 10 is Medu. And the priesthood she was under was the Sa, S-A. So when you say Medusa, you say the 10th ranked Sa priestess. She is the highest ranked of the Sa priestesses. Now, if this is true, that means she have to be accompanied by 2 more priestesses of the Gorgon, of the Psi order. They call them the 3 Gorgons. Medusa was the leader of the 3 Gorgons, right? So they still telling us the Cleopatra story, just in a different culture. So now, when you go back and look at the story, you be like, wait a minute, somebody ain't telling the truth. And that's how come every time one of them dudes with the stringy hair and the beard say he Jesus Christ, they know he lying. Because Jesus Christ means the anointed Isis. Christ means the anointed one. Comes from the root word karas, meaning to be anointed with the oil from the Sobek priestess, who get the oil from the crocodile. The replica oil is called olive oil for ceremonial purposes. So all the time, that's why when the baby boy was born, Heru, in the Bible, they called him Emmanuel, and they didn't call his name no more. How his name go from being Emmanuel, God is with us, to Jesus, with no transition or explanation? That's because it's the Isis of the day, Cleopatra, and then her son that's the heir to the throne would be the Emmanuel, which is Isis in child.
Yeah.
It's trickery at its finest. If I didn't know the original story, I wouldn't have been able to pick that apart like that.
But that doesn't displace that doesn't take away from her husband's position still, right?
They don't got nothing to do with her husband's position. You got to remember the story of Cleopatra. She was having an affair with Mark Antony, and Brutus killed him because she was having an affair with him in the power play.
They killed her. She went into hiding.
So they got the elixir. The movie reference is Serpent in the Rainbow. The priestess give you the dust. The dust puts you to sleep for 72 hours. Don't that sound familiar?
Yeah, it reminds me of Romeo and Juliet a little bit, but.
Right. But the 72 hours is the 3 days for the resurrection.
Oh, yes.
So when you watch Serpent and Rainbow, it's telling you how to make this stuff. It's telling you where they got it from and that they currently use it in the operating rooms in America, but it's an ancient concoction created in the islands of America, right? And then they took it to Egypt. And if they tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, because the Egyptians wasn't associated with the people over here, right? Then explain to me the tobacco in the Pharaoh's blood when they ran the toxicology test, because that stuff was only known over here.
Right.
It don't grow nowhere else in the world.
And the Grand Canyon is a big Kemetic hub. Like
that was actually the Egypt was the Hollywood. There was the replica of the Grand Canyon. The original Temple of Isis sat in the Grand Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
The replica city of Isis is on the Nile in Egypt. All of those temples over there is replica temples that was over here. The originals are over here. You can tell because they're older and bigger and more worn by time. Right? So when you read the Emerald Tablets, to Tahuti tell you.
Okay.
Right? So everybody be talking about fallen angels. I heard a dude say Tahuti was a fallen angel today. I was dying laughing. The fallen angels, they didn't fall. Angels don't fall. They came down here. But in order to suit the narrative, they have to tell you they fell. So you don't know some of them came to walk as men amongst men in order to fix a problem that couldn't be fixed from the ethers alone.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's just a war thing. Definitely. Family feud.
Definitely. That's a lot. That's why I need my king God. Where is he? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. No, I'm not kidding. Let me stop saying that. Thank you, always.
You already know where he at. You need to stop playing with yourself.
I need to level up. That's what's happening. Yeah. Before he finds somebody else. Don't leave me.